Daily Beats Productions. Daily Beats Productions. You are listening to Daily Beats. Daily Beats Productions. Daily Beats Productions. You are listening to Daily Beats. Daily Beats Productions. You are listening to Daily Beats. Daily Beats Productions. Daily Beats Productions. Daily Beats Productions. You are listening to Daily Beats. Daily Beats Productions.
Hi, my name is Tiago Duarte and welcome to another live stream here of the Producer Show. Welcome to the another instance of this show or another episode. And today I have here a couple of questions already set up, already prepared. And before we start with the live stream, I would like to welcome you here to this episode, and just say hi in the chat if you are watching this live. And I want to communicate with you, have some interaction. And if you have any questions, you can also post them here in the chat, and I will go through them in after or in between answering my own or the questions that I have here. So I will be doing this live step. If you are new here to the live, sorry, I can't speak today. I don't know what's going on. If you are new here to these live streams, I will be doing these live streams every Saturday at 6 p.m. GMT plus 2, which is the Berlin time. And again, I'm based on Stuttgart, so this is the time that this is my time zone. So if you want to check out and see what time corresponds to your time zone, then you can search for GMT plus 2 or Berlin time. And these live streams are basically to get all of your questions and answer them here in a live stream in a video format, so that I can help you speed up your learning curve and answer some of the questions that you might have regarding music production. I'm very proficient with FL Studio. It's the DAW that I'm most comfortable with, but I can also work with Studio One and Ableton. I also have Pro Tools, but it's the first, the Pro Tools first version, so it's free. And to be honest, I'm not using Pro Tools anymore. But again, if you have any questions, you can also post those, and I will also help with that. So what else? I just thought, or I just remember, I also have a link in the description where you can subscribe to the newsletter. And this newsletter will be to send you forms so that you can ask your questions, and the questions in the newsletter have higher priority than the questions here in the chat. And so if you want, or if you have your questions and you want them really answered, then you can. It's the best alternative is to go through the chat or to the newsletter, subscribe, and you will be receiving an email every Friday or so with a form, so that you can click on the form and submit your questions. And those questions have higher priority, which are the questions that I have here in today lined up to answer. So I think that's it. Fortunately, the weather is getting better, so the sun is shining. The last few days here have been a little bit of crazy, a lot of sun and a lot of rain. I don't know what's up, but yeah. Okay. Today I was actually a little bit about myself. I was actually going to buy a new magazine. You know that I like to buy the Beat magazine that has a lot of sounds, a lot of new stuff that I like to try out. But there was no magazine for today, so I will probably have to do the Beat magazine Beats next week. And I think I'm bringing this up because I thought about my day, and I went to the shop to buy, or to the store to buy the magazine. And I'm touching on this subject because I think it's a really cool thing for us producers to have, is to buy magazines. And my sound library just increased immensely because of this, and it's very affordable. A magazine costs like €7 per month, and yeah, it's very affordable, and you can still get some really cool synths, some really cool free software. For instance, I had the Waves Codex, which is a wavetable synth, and I got that for free. I have what else? Ozone 9 Elements also for free. So sometimes, okay, not for free, it's for €7. But at the same time, the value that you get from those magazines, it usually increase your value as a music producer, because it gives you way more tools to expand your production arsenal, and also gives you more sounds so that you can have more inspiration and use the sounds to make better music. So you also have to be careful. Some sounds come with not the right licenses. It's something that I want to talk about in the next live stream, which is licensing. And it's very important that you be careful if you are making music to YouTube or to other platforms, or you want to sell your beats. You have to be very careful with licensing, because it's really important and can really cripple your long-term success if, in let's say in the future, you have a track that goes to a really good artist, and then you have problems with licenses. It's really important that you check or minimize the impact that license can have on your productions. So it's always a little bit better. It's better to understand what's up with the licenses. And in the next video or in the next live stream, I'm going to show you some of the licenses that are available and talk about a little bit of the legal terms. So if you want to check that out, probably consider subscribe so that you can receive the notifications of the live streams here. So let me see here. I see there are a couple of viewers here. Say hi in the chat. Be welcome to chat with me, and don't be shy. Just let yourself let myself know that you are here. And if you have any questions, again, you can post them in the chat, and I will do my best to answer them. Okay. I'm going to do some pauses before, so I want to say sorry in advance, because I have been having, yes, I think that's how you say it, some sore throat, because maybe some viruses or spring or some, I don't know, some allergies. So I have to drink a lot of water so that my throat doesn't get too sore. So let's go to the first question. And I also want your feedback in terms how these live streams is going. If you are enjoying, if you are having value from the live streams, let me know what you think. And yeah, so let's jump into the first question. And the first question that I have here is, how do I shop samples in FL Studio? So this is very important for, I would say, probably hip-hop producers, but you can also do this with pretty much any genre. I've seen house producers, techno producers. I've seen funk producers. I've seen a lot of even pop producers making music with samples. So it's not just something related to hip hop and rap, but it's something that you can use pretty much in every genre. And I think I actually heard some producer, I think it was, what was his name? From Busy Work Beats. And it's a huge producer channel. And one of the things that he said, and I agree, I totally agree. He said that sampling or using samples is one of the highest degrees in music production. So whenever you start to use samples, you have to have a very high degree of understanding of DAWs and how to work with sound and audio, because it's very complex. It can become very complex. If you are trying to match different sources of samples, it's way harder than to just load a bunch of synths and start making music, because in that sense, you just have to use the same scale or the same notes, and you will have a more harmonious track, or you will get a finished product easier. But if you are working with samples, you have to take the samples, figure out which note the samples are, and try to match the samples to each other. So that can become really hard. And even me, sometimes I have a lot of experience with music production and making beats and stuff. And even for me, sometimes it's hard to figure out that. So I don't have the most tuned ear, but it can be very hard to figure out the pitch of the samples or the notes of the samples and try to match them. But at the same time, it's really possible. And we have a bunch of tools here in FL Studio that I'm going to show you that we can use to try to find the pitch of the samples and try to get the best out of that. So let's jump into FL Studio so that I can show you how to shop samples and how to work with samples in FL Studio. So we are here in FL Studio. Let me make this a little bit shorter. Let me see if I can move this. Yeah, so probably that's better. Okay, let's open up my side panel here, my library, and let's go with some pegs here that we have, and we have here some loops. So there are several ways to do this or to go about this. We can chop samples in the playlist. So let's say that I have these, let me put a less small volume or speed, BPM. Let's say that I have this sample that I like, and I would like to have just the clap or the snare. I could bring it here and then select only that part. So I would have to go here to the snap settings, put this in step mode, and probably this snap. Maybe this one would be the best one. So I would have to cut there and there and just use this sound here. So this is one of the ways that you can chop stuff. Okay. And let's say that I want to combine that with this kick here. So let's bring the kick in a different way. So the first wave was to drag and drop the sound into the playlist. But one other way that I can also do, which I think it gives us a little bit more flexibility, is by right-clicking here and using Open in SliceX channel. So if I do this, you will see that a SliceX channel just opened, just popped up, and it has the same representation as the file when I dragged it here into the playlist. You can see there this white or this yellow triangle right there at the top. Is kind of hard to show you, maybe there on the left, and I hope you can see it. And you can see those are markers, and we have these loops here very well marked, and we have kick, hi-hat, snare, and this kick. So this was actually the kick that I wanted. So how do I use this kick to put it here in the playlist? So the first thing that I have to do is to bring up a pattern. So let's drag and drop this pattern here. And as you can see, it already has notes. So if I go to the channel rack here, if I open this up, it tells me that I already have all the sounds here laid out in the sequence of the loop. So if I play this, you hear that we have both the snare and this loop. So let's say that I want to use this loop, but no snares here. So let's remove the snares where I have in the playlist here, you see that I have the snare from the other loop. And now if I play this, you see that now it plays both things. So I could still rearrange this and just use, for instance, the kick. Let's do that in pattern 2. Let's remove that. Let's put pattern 2 here. And let's say that I want to make my own loop with the kick. So I can do this, and let's copy this. So for simplicity. So this is one way. And this is to work with drums. So to work with drums is very simple and it's very powerful. It's one of the things that I like the most to do here in FL Studio is to work with drums. But we can also work with samples. And samples is very, very important also. And I would say loops is the easiest to work with. But let's go here, for instance, to dailybits.pt, and let's go to one of the construction kits that I have here. So let's see, what do I have? Let's bring up some samples. Let's see if I find something that I like. That could work. I don't know about that one. Okay, let's use this one. I like this one. So let's bring this into SliceX, and you see that it chops already the samples, and we have this long list of nodes. So let's Control A and let's delete this. And now we can go ahead and play the notes that we want. And you can see sometimes it gives us 2 notes here. So this note alone, it doesn't work that much. So what I like to do is take auto dump And now I can delete that marker. And you now see that it plays the entire note. So this, it's a helpful way to organize your samples or your markers in Slice X. And for instance, these ones here, I would probably just use something like this. So remove all of this and just leave this one. This is actually a sound that I would use more than the other one. So sometimes you need also to rearrange the markers so that you get the best sound. So what the good thing about this is that now we can pitch things up. And now you get a more sample vibe. So let's put this. It's important that you also put the samples in the correct sense. If you are using just samples from other DAWs or from other producers, usually you want to go by cents, not by 250 or something like that, because that makes your life harder when you want to add some other sounds, some other instruments. So let's go and let's put this one here. Let's make this here. And what was the other one? Let's make this one also. Let's just do a simple loop just to make this so that we can have something to work with. And maybe we can also let's use this one here as variation. And maybe we can even yeah, we can do something like that. Just this is just an example. Okay, so let's say I have this sample. Actually, this was too much, but let's keep it like that. Let's say I have this sample. It's just basic, just to give you the example. Let's say now that I want to add a bass. But I could even go 2 routes. Let's bring 3x oscillator. I can go this route and try to find the pitch. Actually, in this case, F sharp sounds nice. Let's try another one. This doesn't sound good. This one could also work, which is A. So we all know that probably we are working in F sharp. So let's go here. Oops, let's go to piano roll. And let's move this to F sharp. So let's go here, scale highlightings, F sharp. And you see already that this scale works. So it should be F sharp. Actually, this one here, which is D sharp, doesn't work, at least in this case. Let's see here at the end. No, yeah, D sharp doesn't work. But this, as you can see, is actually a good example. Let me see if A works. Actually, A does work. And I could now bring this down. Even another one. As you can see, we could do it this way by ear. And it's also a good thing to train your ear to learn how to do this. Or you can also go, let's say that we want to get the notes from this. I would put this in channel, let's say channel 1. And then I would bring here waves tuner. So let's go with tuner. And this can also gives us some of the notes. Let me see which notes we have here. Okay, let's see this one. Maybe I have to play this. You saw there F sharp, Now we have the, let's increase the reactivity. You see it goes now to F sharp. So it varies between F sharp and D3. So let's see the notes that we have. We have F sharp and actually D sharp. It was D sharp or D? Okay, D. So let's see. It was F sharp. And let's see if this one is D. I have to enable this. Okay, that works. And you can see that this is actually a good thing. So we could actually have or figure out the notes of the sample just using this tuner here. And you can increase the reactivity to check the pitch of the sample. So this is how you can very easily figure out the notes or the pitch of your samples. And it's very important to keep to be in the same note as the sample, otherwise it sounds a little bit off. And let me show you what I mean. So I said to go in scales of 100 cents. Let's say that I chose 550. Now let's listen. You see, it sounds awful. And there's nothing here. If I could go one down, still would sound terrible. So the solution would be to go here, to go to 3x oscillator and move these, for instance, let me put 1 and move this 50. Even then, it sounds a little bit off, which messing here with the pitch is not the best solution. So I would say to just go in increments of 100 if you know that the sample has the correct pitch. Otherwise, you might need intermediate values. Sorry. But I would say in most cases you don't need. So it's always good to go in 100 cents steps. And that's it. That's how you can chop samples and play around with it. We can also go low. Instead of plus 600, we can go minus 600 to make it a little bit darker. As you can see, this also sounds really cool. But yeah, that's basically it. I would recommend to use SliceX. There's no other tool that I use to chop samples. There's some other tools here. For instance, there's the where is Fruity Slicer, but I don't think it doesn't give me the same functionality that SliceX gives me. So I prefer to go with the highest possible feature set, and that is with SliceX. So I think that's the best one, and that's the one that I use. Gives me a lot of flexibility when it comes to dealing with samples. So that's how I would chop samples in FL Studio. So that's it. Thanks for asking this question, and let's go ahead and go to the next one. So and we are already half an hour, and I didn't. I only answered one of the questions. This is going slow. But let's go. Okay, the next question is a really nice one, and I really like this question because it can. I made a beat just with the basis of this question, and I really enjoy it. And the question is, how do I transform a sample into a synth? So the way to do this is very simple, and I'm going to actually do this with my voice. So I'm going to record myself in FL Studio. And then I'm going to make a synth out of it. It's really cool, and it's really nice to do. So let's go and jump into FL Studio. Again, let's record this for recording. Let's arm the track for the recording. Let's go with Edison. And I don't need to record anything special, so I'm just going to record a little bit of myself talking. That should be enough. And if I play nothing, because we have the track here, let's take this out of recording, and this is how it sounds. Record a little bit of myself talking. Okay, so now let me select here a section of the sample. Let's select from here to there, and let's drag this into the sampler. Okay, let's drag that, and now we can close this. And what else do I need to do here? Now let's play some notes in this one. Okay, this is doing nothing. One thing that I need to do is probably loop. Okay, let me edit this in Audio Editor again. And now let's make a loop out of this. So let's put set loop. Okay, that should work. Let's bring this down here. And now we have something here. Okay, it's not probably not the best. Or maybe this one sounds better. This could work as a bass. Okay, we can still work something out here. Let's remove the DC offset. Okay, we can also... no, we can play around with that. Let's crossfade. Let's trim. No, trim doesn't do anything. Okay, I like that. So let's see what we can do here. We can boost it. We can clip it. And now it's just a matter of messing with the sample. And as you can see, we have now a very different sound, completely different from what we start with. Okay, so now the next step would be to understand which root note we have here. So we could actually do the same thing as we did in the last example and in the last question, which is to bring a tuner here. Let's bring a tuner. Where is tuner here? And let's see if we have some note here. So I'm playing C, and this is giving me G2. So what I can do is I can go here. And because I was playing C, it was giving me G. So what I can do is basically select this by right-clicking. And now if I play C, it will theoretically play C. So let's test this to see if this is actually working correctly. So let's bring a 3x oscillator. Let's play C all the way through. Let's make it a little bit lower. Okay, so that we can hear it constantly. And now let's play C in this one. You see? And now because I'm playing C, it plays in the same note. So now I managed to match the same... Oops, let me remove this. I managed to both create a completely sound out of my voice, a unique synth out of my voice, and also I managed to pitch it to the correct note. So now if I am to go, or if I go ahead and use this as a synth, I know that I don't have to worry about if when I'm playing C is actually C. You can see that when I play, I'm already in key because I managed to do the pitching here, or to move the root note, the original note of the sample. And this is very powerful, and it's one of the best ways to have unique synths, and to have really cool and nice sounds your own sounds without too much effort. And you saw that just messing around here with some pre-computed effects, how I managed to transform my voice into something like this. And of course, we can still go ahead and put extra effects on this one. I was probably thinking maybe some EQ, some reverb. Reverb would sound nice here. Let's go with a short reverb. Okay, let's go maybe a little bit longer. And this is actually something that we can work, and it's one of the questions, I think it's the last question that I will answer today. And this could also help in this one. Let me see if I can work in the next questions. And yeah, I can still use this project. So before we jump into the next questions, I would like to do here some announcements. I will be doing these live streams every Saturday. So if you have any questions about music production, you can join the live streams, put your questions in the chat, and you can also subscribe to the newsletter that I have a link in the description so that you can post your questions there. I will be sending emails with some questionnaire forms so that you can post so I can't speak today. I don't know what's going on. You can post your questions there, and those questions will have a higher priority here. And yeah, that's it. And what else? I think I had another. Okay, yeah. The live streams will be at 6 p.m. GMT +2, which is the Berlin time, and will be every Saturday. So let's jump into the next question. And if you are new here to the live stream, just say hi in the comments. Let me know that you are watching, that you are enjoying, you are not enjoying. Let me know, give me some feedback so that I can better make this live stream a little bit better for you. But let's jump into the next question that I have here, which is how to make a pump effect with a compressor. So this is a really nice question, and it's something that it can be a little bit tricky, but it's simple to do. And let's go ahead and put this at 1. Let's go with 124. And let's bring a kick. So I have some kicks here from the FPC. And this is some of the techno kicks that I got from a magazine. And you see why it's important to have to use some magazines. Let's use this one. This one looks nice. Kick magenta. And let's do a very simple 4 to the floor kick. Okay. Let's actually use my, maybe let me reduce here the volume. Let's do something like this with this one. Let's make this a little bit more rhythmic. Let me put maybe this one here. I like that. Okay, so now let's imagine that I want to sidechain this thing here with the kick. So the first thing that I have to do is bring the kick into the mixer. And let's call this kick. And let's call this bass, something like that. Let's say that I want to sidechain this bass based on the kick. So what I can do is select the kick here. And then go to this triangle here and right click and do sidechain to this track. And you see that it created a link here, but with no volume. And then we go here to the bass and we can select compressor here, or a limiter in this case. And we can go here to comp, and then we have this here called sidechain. And if I right click here, you can see that the kick information is here. So we have a copy of the kick going into the bass channel, but is not sending any actual volume. It's just ghost information. So what I can do here is do a very short attack. That's maybe 0.1 milliseconds. We can even go to 1 millisecond. And then we have to increase the ratio and then reduce the threshold. And you already see that we can see some of the ghost notes of the kick there. So now if I start reducing this, if I make it more aggressive, you start listening and actually see the compression here. And we can play around with the release. We can make some really fast release, but we have to be careful because you can get some distortion with if we have some short release. You see that sometimes we get some distortion, so we have to be careful with that, with short releases. But we can also have some long releases for a more bump effect. Okay, so that's basically it. It's very simple to do sidechain compression here to create this bump effect. And I would recommend to use fast attacks and long releases. And you can also use some sharp ratio, especially for above or, yeah, above. Actually, I'm not showing FL Studio, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just a one guy show here, so I was not showing the FL Studio thing, I'm sorry. And let's recap what I did here. I'm extremely sorry about this. So what I did was I put the kick on the mixer, and then I also have here the bass. Then I have here the kick. I applied a line there, and you can see there's no volume going into the bass. And then here in the bass, I applied the fruity limiter with the compressor here. And then we can actually see the compression there. It happens when the kick happens. If I remove the kick, we don't see any compression at all. So the kick affects the compression because it's sidechaining the bass. So this is very important. And the thing that I was talking about here, we have to play with fast attacks, longer release. We can actually go like this. This would be a very extreme case, and we probably don't want that. We want the release to go a little bit to zero, or we want the compressor to release completely. But I would say something like that would be a good starting point. And then we can have a very strong ratio, or we can have also a softer ratio. But I would say from 4 above, 4 to, I think this goes to 20, but 3 to 4 would be a good starting point, and then we can play around with threshold. We could have a lot of compression with no volume going through, or we can have just a little bit. So it also depends on the entire track that you are producing, but yeah, that's how basically you do the pump effect with a compressor. So let's go back here to my face. I hope I don't forget to switch in the next one. Yeah, I was all excited telling you about how to do this, and then I look at the left side and I saw that it was just my face, and yeah, I'm sorry for that. Let's jump into the next question. And the next question, which is, how do I explain the parameters of the delay 3? It's actually a good question. So let's load here delay 3. And again, I was going to forget to show you FL Studio. So let's switch from my face to FL Studio. So this is delay 3. And let's actually take all of this stuff out. And let's bring here the pattern, and let's apply this to the EQ. Did I use the kick? Let me bring this one, and let's put this on the kick so that you can actually hear the the effect. Okay, so that should be enough. And so we have here several parameters. As you can see, we have the delay time, we have delay model, we have feedback, we have modulation, diffusion, and feedback distortion. So it's better to understand the main areas. I would say this part here is the part that you would care the most. These ones are more for stylizing, let's say, the delay. And then here we have the output, which tells you how much wetness you want, the tone, and dry signal. So it's very important to understand these three here and the top part here. The input, of course, if you take this, you have no volume into the delay. So this is very straightforward. So what is delay? Basically, delay is just a copy of the same signal spread out through time. So let's say that I have this kick here and I want to manually create some delay. How would I do that? I would put another piece here, another there, and I would just reduce the volume. You see that this is actually the effect of a delay. So this is basically what delay is doing. It's taking copies of the same sound and spreading them out throughout time with different volumes. And this is also creating an echo effect, also known as echo. So let's look at some of the parameters here to understand them a little bit better. So as you saw here, I was putting this every 2 steps, like so. And this is represented here by the time. So I could manually put my delay here, and that's actually something that you can use. But if you want some automated way to do this, you go with a plugin. So the time here indicates how many steps or positions it will delay or use, how many positions will wait to create a new copy of the sound. So let's say that I want, you see here in the top, in the hint panel, this one is 4. So if I play this, so basically it's creating a delay every 4 steps. As you see, if you follow the playback position, you see that we get 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, or I can actually count 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is actually the time that we have here. If I go ahead and put, for instance, 3, we will have something like 1, 2, 3. It will be here. And then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A little bit offset based on the time. So let's try to listen that. And you see that we start to get a little bit, whenever it plays back, it starts to create some very interesting effects here. So basically the time here, it tells you how many steps you can look for. So if it was 6, it would play here in this position. So actually let's remove this one here and let's put 1 there. And you see that it plays right away at that time. So let's listen again. Okay, let's go, for instance, with 7. 7 would play here. Let's go with 8. 8 would play there. So you see that time is very straightforward. It just indicates where it will play the next sample. So let's put this at 4. And then we have here some options of offset. We can apply an offset so that we can even add, as you can see, this is delay time, right and left offset. So if I put something like 50%, you see that there's an offset between the right and left channel. And this creates this very interesting effect here. Okay, we can also have this option here to tempo sync. So if I remove this, you see that the timing now it's in milliseconds and not in a snap setting. So it's harder for us to, if we want really precise delays, then you would not use time. You would use time sync. So this helps us to select the correct timing. And also this could be helpful if you want to find compressor settings in terms of time. You can also go here and see how much is for step. In this case, it's 26 milliseconds. Okay, let's go ahead now to here to the delay mode, or actually delay model. And basically we can have mono, which is explanatory. If you don't know mono and stereo, then you need to learn a little bit about that. I will not touch that here. And then we have mono, stereo, and then ping pong mode. Ping pong mode, basically, as you can see, it's already changed here the panning. Ping pong mode will actually ping pong between the left and right signal or sides. And actually, we don't listen to it very well in this case because we are using a kick. But if you want to increase this, we could go like that. And we see that now it plays on one side and then on the other, and then one side and then on the other. So this is the ping pong mode, or we can actually have it off, and you can see that it disables a lot of the plugin, a lot of the knobs here. So let's put this on stereo. And here is the stereo spread again. If you want a more mono thing, you would go like this, and you can control how much stereoness you want. Probably, I don't know if that's a word, but yeah. And then we have here the level. And the level just tells you how many repetitions you will get. So let's say that I play here, I stop, I still have a bunch of repetitions here. So let's say that I want really short repetitions, or I want maybe just one or two, I decrease the level. Okay, let's put it less, even less. You see the level here controls how many repetitions we will have, or the feedback of the, basically the level of the feedback, it tells us how many repetitions we'll have after the first one. So if you want infinite repetitions, we just take this and you see that there's no, and actually the volume is increasing, so we have to be careful here so that we don't blow our speakers, but this is how you would do infinite feedback. Then we have here the cutoff and resonance. So let's say that I want to apply, and also this one here, we have a low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass, or off. So if I want to remove any effects on the feedback, on the delays, then I can cut them here. And let's say that I want to apply a high pass filter. So we have a kick, and I don't want the repetitions to be have too much low end. What I can do is apply here a cutoff, and let's say a cutoff of let's put 600 hertz. Let's reduce this. Okay. As you can see, this is applying a cutoff to the feedback loop of the delay. So every repetition of the sound based on this level and all this timing and all that stuff that we see before will have this cutoff will, or this filter will be applied to that value. So if you want apply a high pass filter or a low pass filter, we would use these two knobs here. And of course, we can also add some resonance. This could be very interesting to create some nice effects, as you can hear. Actually, this actually can create some really cool effects. We can actually make some techno rumble. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, maybe I have to give the volume here. Okay, let me make this down. Let me reduce the volume. Okay, this could be Okay, something like that. We could even keep it mono. Or we could actually make some ping pong to get some crazy effect like that. Okay, and then we have here sample rate and beats. So if you want to decrease the quality of the feedback loop, we can do that here. As you can see, it's very powerful, very interesting stuff. And we can play here, and then we can play here with the wet and dry signal. So no output signal. And then we can play around here with this one. So this is really nice. It's one thing that we can play around with, and you can actually use delays here with some crazy effects and create some really cool sounding stuff. And I think that's it for today. I have another question here, but my throat is a little bit hurting right now, so I will take a break now. And we've been already in 1 hour, so today will be just 4 questions, and I will keep the next question for the next live stream next week. And that's it. Unfortunately, there was not too many people. I have here now a comment. Nice work. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I don't know if you were just joined, but I'm about to finish this. And I will be doing these live streams every Saturday at around 6 p.m. GMT +2, which is the Berlin time. Thanks for your comment, ZNB. I really appreciate that. And I felt today I felt a little bit alone here in the live stream, but that's fine. And it's part of growing this live stream, and I'm going to continue and bring you value. So if you are new here and you want to participate in this live stream, I will be doing this every Saturday at around 6 p.m. GMT +2, which is the Berlin time. I'm located in Stuttgart, so that's my time zone. You can also compare that with your time zone and see if you can join. And I have a newsletter, a link in the description, so that you can join a newsletter, so that you can receive the email that I send with a question form, so that you can place your questions through that form, and those questions will have higher priority here in the channel or in the live stream. So I will be answering those questions first, and only then after that I will answer them here in the chat, or the questions in the chat. And I think that's it. I really enjoyed this one. Unfortunately, my throat is still not fully cured. So I hope next week I will be able to do this live stream longer. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to finish today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.